Bienvenidos al canal de noticias VA News.
Dave Murphy, de nacionalidad estadounidense, escritor y productor, conocido por las obras Tierra Plana, La mayor mentira de todas, año 2015, Tierra Plana y otras hierbas, año 2015, y Carta abierta a Neil deGrasse Tyson acerca de la Tierra Plana, año 2016. En el video que verás a continuación, Dave habla sobre la teoría de la Tierra plana en un talk show de Rusia. Expresó lo siguiente.
Put an end to this topic once and for all, turn the Hubble round and show us Earth in real time, zooming in onto a place so that we can see what's happening at that place, and we know that there is something up there looking down on us from space. But they will not do it. They can't do it. It can't. It doesn't exist. It literally doesn't exist. It's all fraud. It's all fake. Pretty much everything NASA puts out is fraudulent. Nobody has actually really gone all the way across Antarctica. Yeah. Now there are millionaires out there who could assemble the resources to make an expedition and completely go across and chart Antarctica and make a name for themselves, being the first person to do that. Yeah. But nobody ever does. Now you can actually measure the temperature of the moonlight next to the temperature of the shade of the moonlight, and you'll find the moonlight is colder than the shade, the opposite from the sun. So the moon is throwing out its own light, and that light is the opposite from the sun. Now, that tells you that it's not reflecting the sun's light. It's producing its own, and its light is different from the sun's. So, the scientific community have not told us this, because they won't tell us this because it destroys this idea that the sun is lighting up the moon. The other thing that's about the spinning Earth is looking at the stars. Now, directly above the axis of spin is the pole star, Polaris, directly over the North Pole. And we're told that the reason that all the stars spin around the North Star is because the Earth is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Seems to make sense, because if you put a long exposure camera pointing at the North Star, you'll see the stars will make perfect circles around, perfect star trails. The only problem is the Earth is also orbiting the sun at 67,000 miles an hour. The sun is moving, dragging the Earth and all the planets up that way or that way at 600,000 miles an hour. So why do we see perfect circles? Because that's the slowest speed, that's slowest motion in that mix. And yet the Earth is moving 67 times faster that way and 600 times faster that way. So you should see the stars do all sorts of strange motions, but you don't. You only see them make these perfect circles. That tells me that it's the stars that are moving, not the Earth. If a pilot is flying around the curve of the Earth, then he should be dipping the nose down. Every 5 minutes he should be dipping the nose down to stay around the curve. But the thing that really got me interested was, as you say, the gyroscope. In a plane there is an artificial horizon, and it's based on a gyroscope. And if you spin a gyroscope on a surface, it will want to stay upright. You can twist and tilt the surface as much as you like. The gyroscope will stay upright. So if a plane has a gyroscope and it starts following the curve of the Earth, the gyroscope would stay upright, which means the artificial horizon will start to roll backwards. But it doesn't. That's absolute proof that a plane flies over a flat surface rather than a curved one. Because I asked the pilot on my last flight, do you ever notice the artificial horizon rolling backwards? He said, no, but the artificial horizon has complex electronics in it to make sure it knows where it is on the Earth and it compensates. but I went to the manufacturer of the artificial horizon, and they confirmed to me that it's completely mechanical, nothing electronic in it whatsoever. So it's literally just a gyroscope that can freely move. So that right there is proof to me that planes fly over a plane. The problem is that we're taught as children, this ball Earth lie, and you might ask as a child, what about the people in Australia? They're standing on the bottom of the globe, won't they fall off? And your teacher says, no, gravity. And you go, oh, okay. And you never go back to that question. But when you go back to it as an adult and start looking at it with a critical eye, right, the whole thing falls apart. As you say, the globe is spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's a leading astronomer in America, tells us that the Earth is not a perfect circle, it is actually an oblate spheroid, it's squashed, and wider at the equator. Yeah? So,
Znači, po-stesnet je na polovite, a po-širok je na ekvatorot.
Exactly. So my question to him would be, why is there land at the equator? Because water will move more readily than rock. So if the Earth is spinning, the water will be collected at the equator. I mean, if you spin a wet tennis ball, the water shoots off at the equator, essentially. So all the water will be gathered around the equator. So why is there land at the equator? Doesn't make any sense. It seems like Admiral Byrd found the edge of the dome, while he was out there. And as soon as he left there, they started firing missiles straight up, I believe, to try and test how far that dome went. If you watch the trajectory of the space shuttle, it doesn't go straight up. It always goes in a curve and out to sea. Yeah, and if you see it,
Why is that?
Well, because
Is it normal to go straight up, as fast as he can, to go out of the atmosphere?
I've been talking to a few people in sort of the scientific community, and they'll say, no, straight up isn't the right way to go. You have to sort of go around the curve and get speed to get into orbit. But still, the point is that they actually go horizontal. The space shuttle goes horizontal. It never goes any further up. It goes horizontal, very, very low down in the atmosphere, because it drops its external tank while it's still in the atmosphere. So it's still in the atmosphere while it's horizontal. So it never gets any higher, and it goes out of sight. Not because it goes too high, because it goes too far downrange. And it seems that nobody's ever on the space shuttle, and the proof of that is the Challenger disaster. In I believe it's 1986, the Challenger exploded just after takeoff and killed 7 astronauts. But it turns out that 6 of the astronauts are still alive, and most of them are using their original names. And you can find pictures of them. They're using the same names, and they're doing ordinary jobs now. Teachers, lecturers, lawyers, whatever. But they're still alive. And you can see whenever the space shuttle lands, you can hear it. It's a loud jet engine. You watch any video of the space shuttle landing, you can tell it's a jet engine. It's a jet-powered aircraft. That's it. It's not a glider. In my video, I show you a glider, how that seems, and then I show you the space shuttle. And yeah, it's not a glider. It's an aircraft. And that's what they're fooling us. They're taking billions of dollars in and giving us images and fake planes for that 10 billion, however many billions of dollars it is. That isn't the first thing that's been hidden over the years. I mean, we're all driving petrol cars because 100 years ago, the Rockefeller family basically cornered the market on oil, and the car industry was going electric. So, you know, all cars would have been electric from the get-go, but they basically forced everybody to use petrol cars, and have hidden this secret. And literally, you know, we could be running around in electric cars that have unlimited mileage by now, but we're still using these 100-year-old machines, dirty machines, because of a secret that's been kept. It's easy. If everybody's been trained into believing that this is real, right? And there's space, and it's within our interests to explore space and you know, go to the moon, go to Mars. Yeah, people will pay for it, and they're making billions. Mm-hmm. And yeah, there's more to it, because I believe there's a big deception coming, and it's to do with aliens, because now since Roswell, 1947. That was the first time anybody had ever understood the idea of aliens. But since then, we've been bombarded with science fiction and the idea of aliens. And most people believe there are aliens out there. So they've prepared us for an alien invasion or an alien saviour. And I think the flat Earth came along at the right moment to educate people, to make people believe or understand that we've been lied to. And if you know, as I know in my heart now, that is real and this isn't, I will not be fooled by aliens coming, because there are no aliens. There's no space. Yeah, it's all fantasy by Disney and NASA. Well, the Bible has a very, very clear view of what this place is, and it matches that place more than it matches this. Okay, and what it says is the great deep is under it, just water. It's just deep water, and above the firmament is water. And you know, it says in Genesis that he separated the water below from the water above, and made a space. And then made dry land appear out of the water. So what's under the flat Earth? Well, it's water, and it just goes on. Again, I don't know for sure, because I've not been under there. I don't know what's past the outside of, or the you know, the first few hundred miles of Antarctica. But everything I've seen over the last year and a half tells me that is true and this isn't. And I'm starting to believe and trust my intuition about this. It's true, because this world is very different from what most people think it is. There are very powerful people who essentially rule this world right now. And the ordinary person is a slave in this world. And slaves aren't educated. You know, they're taught what they need to, or you know, they need to know. That's it. They're not taught truth. They're taught what they need to know, and so you're taught enough so that you can, you know, do the paperwork and operate the machinery, but you're not meant to know what's really going on, because that's the power they have over us. They know what's going on, you know, how this world works. We don't, so they can control us. In my opinion, the Big Bang theory and the theory of evolution and the ball Earth theory are all interlinked, and they're all there to make us feel as though we're insignificant. We're small, tiny, miniature, unimportant pieces of slime crawling around on a speck of dust in an infinite universe. If that's true, and there's no purpose, there's no meaning to anything, then our owners can do whatever they want with us. Then, you know, this is all accidental, so food can be genetically modified because it's imperfect. You know, we can be modified because we're imperfect. You know, if we realise that this is the universe. And
Complete universe.
Yes, this system is the
Is
complete
everything.
Is everything. Everything that NASA has put out is CGI, is fake. Okay, people say, I think you mentioned it. If you look out into the universe, you see that the moon is round, spherical, and the planets are spherical, and so why are we flat? Well, how do you know that the planets and the stars are spherical? All you get is, if you look for a telescope, you see a flat disk. If you think you see a spherical shape there, well, it needs two eyes to resolve 3D. If you're looking for a telescope, you can't see anything in 3D. It's going to be flat anyway. So all you see is a flat blob of light. It's only NASA that's given you these beautiful pictures of so-called planets and stars. Yeah. So it's a fallacy to say, well, everything else out there is spherical, so we must be. How this is special. So why? It's like saying a basketball is round, so why isn't the court round? It's a fallacy. So this idea of a ball Earth, theory of evolution, the Big Bang, is all about making us feel nothing, so that we can be used. If everybody realised how special we all are, how unique every single life is, then this whole world would change overnight. We wouldn't allow ourselves to be used by this cabal. We wouldn't allow this planet to be destroyed, because they're destroying it because, it's just an accidental planet, one of millions. We've found other Earths. Eventually, if this one gets too messed up, we'll go to another one. No, this is it. So if we all realise that, then we wouldn't allow all these things that are going on. It's all about control. There are a small group of people who want to control the world, and because there's so many of us out there, they can't control us directly. They can't, this small group of people can't, come round to all of us and control us directly. So they must use our own minds, our own hearts and minds against ourselves. And this is what they've done. They've educated us into this world, into this globe spinning, heliocentric Big Bang evolution world, which makes us nothing. And as soon as we change that, this is amazing, because when I first started looking, it was about 1.5 years ago, I looked on YouTube and there were maybe about 100 videos, not even that probably, and nobody was talking about it, right? And then over 2015, it exploded. There are thousands and thousands and thousands of people looking at Flat Earth now. And what happens is that you'll watch something or read something, and something will strike a chord in your mind, and you'll think, yeah, I've always wondered that. And what will happen is you will start feverishly researching. I mean, what happened to me was, as soon as I got that, I spent every waking hour looking for things and testing things, and this seems to be replicated with thousands of people around the world who suddenly come into this. They start, researching and getting a passion for this, because this is what I think, it's the truth, and we recognise the truth when we hear it, and we feel it, and this I believe has come at the exact right time, so that we awaken to what's going on in the world. Nothing else, 9/11 even hasn't awoken people, right, to this extent. For me, I've been an atheist for 40 years. From the age of 13, I didn't want anything to do with God and Bibles and whatever and religions. And now I know for a fact there is a creator. There are only two possibilities. Either there is a God or there isn't. and both of them are terrifying.
Yeah.
If there isn't a God, then nobody's in control. We're hurtling through space, and there's no plan, and there's no nothing, and you know, that's terrifying. If there is a God, then we'd better find out who he is and what he wants and do exactly what he says. And it turns out that he gave us very specific instructions on how to live. And they're not rules as in, you know, laws that you must follow because you know, or put you in prison if you don't. No, these are rules to live by, to make a harmonious world. You know, don't harm anyone, don't kill anybody, don't steal from people. You know, don't covet people's items. You know,
Don't lie.
Don't lie. I mean, these things are written in our hearts anyway. Yeah, but we're in a society that that legalizes all of the 10 Commandments. You know, the policemen and soldiers can kill. They're allowed to kill. Yeah, you know.
Politicians can lie.
They can lie.
They are lying all the time.
They're lying all the time. Police have been told that they are allowed to lie to try and get to catch somebody. Yeah, they're allowed to lie. Everything in the 10 Commandments is legalized in this society. That tells you who runs this society. Yeah. So yeah, this is a profound movement. I don't like using the word movement, but it's a profound shift in consciousness for people because, and like any other topic that's come out in the last few years, this one has made people realise that they've been lied to.